Hi, y'all. Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us as we rock and roll. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline already hump day. Getting closer to Brandon's favorite day. By the way, Brandon, on KPL today, all of them were talking about how Monday's the best day of the work week, and it starts with attitude. So we want to change your attitude.
Sometimes it's hard being the only one that's right.
Well, like I told you, it's we're a different breed here. All right, we're going to jump gears and see Dr. Kevin Lindeman, of course, joins us. Corporate wellness programs is what he's all about. He's with Bryant Wellness Institute. Good to see you again.
Hey,
you notice how I was trying to get him because you talk about wellness and employees, and I got a feeling y'all talk about attitude and helping out. Would you get his attitude right about Monday?
I don't know if I can do that one or not. I don't know if that's hopeless or
your program may be too deep for you. I'm just going to tell you right now.
It's not that I don't like Mondays. I just think Fridays are better.
Yeah,
way better.
I'm trying to figure out how to just work Wednesday and Thursday and call it a week.
Then you won't care about Fridays or Mondays. I kind of like that, but I would think what you're doing. And by the way, folks, Dr. Kevin Lindeman, we have him on about every other week. Get a chance to visit with him. Doc, talk a little bit about what I want to go back because every week we'll have new listeners. Talk about Bryant Wellness Institute. Then we're going to go back into what you do, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it.
Okay, sure. So I'm the local corporate wellness advisor for a 501c3 called the Foundation for Wellness Professionals. And what we do is we bring wellness programs to local businesses and companies in the area. And you know, I think a lot of owners forget that the health of your employees directly relates to the health of your profit margin.
No doubt.
You know, and so I've implemented this program for some of Acadian's largest companies. I mean, I've been in Exxon and Cameron Valve, and I've been wellness advisor for Cameron Valve and Energy and Schlumberger. But I'm really.
And by the way, you can go anywhere. Any listening audience.
Yeah.
Any company can use you.
Exactly. But here's the thing. I'm here today to really talk to the small businesses of Acadiana because you can have the same wellness program that these big companies have, and it won't cost you a fortune. I'm talking restaurants, banks, insurance companies, you know, little small businesses that need some help with their profit margin, and they don't realize how much that the health of their employees is draining their productivity. And so, like I said, I'm the local representative. It's a national nonprofit 501c3, just like the Red Cross. It's called the Foundation for Wellness Professionals, and what we do is we bring corporate wellness programs in for local businesses, and the neat thing about this is it doesn't cost the business anything to have us come in, but it's a tremendous value for these businesses. And so the way that it works is we come in and we train your employee on various wellness topics, and we can vary it depending on what the business problem is. I mean, a group of welders are going to have different problems than a group of secretaries.
Sure.
So we tailor it to that particular business's individual problems. But when it all boils down to it, most employee health problems, as far as I'm talking about sick days, injuries, healthcare costs, and company profit killers when it comes to health, boils down to really three things. The first one is having employees that have unmanaged stress.
I was going to ask you, how does stress come in all of it?
Well, everybody you talk to is stressed. I mean, if you have a job, you're stressed. If you don't, you're stressed.
If you work with Brandon, you're very stressed too. I'm sending Brandon to you, by the way, after the class.
That's good. So the thing about stress is people don't realize how it affects you physiologically. So you're never going to get rid of the stress. The traffic's not getting any better, I promise. The bills aren't going away.
Oh, no.
But what happens, your body, the way it physiologically deals with stress, that we can fix. Because whenever you get under stress, your body goes into this fight or flight. Well, our body doesn't know the difference if we're being chased by a predator or if we're sitting in traffic. Our physiology is the same. So what happens when we get under stress is our blood pressure goes up, our digestive system shuts down, our sleep hormones aren't produced, and our body produces cortisol, which causes our body to throw off its hormonal balance and gain weight. So if you look at...
So you really, when you help people, you also help people. It may not necessarily be stress at the job. That may be when they get relieved, but the other stresses of home.
Sure.
And anything else that could happen.
What happens is you get adrenal burnout. Your adrenal glands are the glands that function and get burnt out whenever you're under stress. Now, so if you look at the high blood pressure, the heart problems, the digestive problems, the acid reflux, the weight problems.
Part of this too.
Absolutely. All of that's caused by overactive stress. Now, like I said, we can't make the stress go away, but what we can do is we have things we can do to strengthen your adrenal system in your body. And if we can rebuild your adrenal glands, the stress won't cause you to go into that bad physiology.
So this is how, when you say you can help a company, what you do is you're helping individuals, which ultimately will help your companies, because companies are individuals.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
Exactly right.
And so y'all go into a company and you now you mentioned nothing about any cost, but you go into these companies. What do? You help certain people in the company, or the company takes you on and say, "Hey, we want to implement a program that helps everybody."
We can do either one. What we do a lot of times is we'll have these programs as like a lunch and learn. So all the staff will all come together as like a little 45-minute program to show them about health as a lunch and learn. So the second thing we address is weight. And I'm a nationally certified weight loss coach, but listen, we don't embarrass anybody. We don't point any fingers. We just say, as a company, if any of you guys would be interested in a weight loss program, check a box at the bottom of your paperwork, so we don't have to point anybody out that way.
So what do you do if let's say you got a company you're dealing with, you mentioned small business, let's say 20 people.
Yeah.
And you got 8 people that are interested in that. Then you work with those 8 people.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, we work with those 8 people to try to get them healthy. And now the last big aspect of the corporate wellness program is repetitive motion. So that's people doing the same motion over and over with their hands, like say they type or they check groceries. Groceries have a grocery clerk
every day. Yeah. That's all you do.
Very high level of carpal tunnel problems.
But you got that happens in manufacturing companies.
Exactly. Welders, all that. So what happens, repetitive motion disorders are one of the biggest issues with companies are dealing with to try to reduce workers' comp claims. And listen, this is not trying to get workers' comp claims out of your company. I personally don't like treating them. I won't even treat them unless the company executive asks me to personally. We don't really do that. But what we're trying to do is prevent them. Because one carpal tunnel case can cost you $20,000 or more. Wow. And so what we do for that is we implement a little 5-minute stretching program, and that has been shown to reduce repetitive motion injuries by 60%. So what I'm saying is, if a secretary will take 5 minutes and stretch out, and I have a series on paper, I give her a handout on it. If she'll take 5 minutes and stretch her hands and fingers and her arms out before she starts typing, 60% less chance of getting carpal tunnel syndrome. Wow. And then if they are developing it, then we'll show them ways that they can actually fix it.
So you not only go to a company and help people, which help companies. It's kind of a deal. You get them in the right direction, and do you stay with them?
Yeah,
you stay with them as long as the company,
as long as they want,
or the person, whatever, is willing to do what they have to do. All right, give me the name. I want the name of the company. How can people get in touch with you? And if they call you and want to talk to you about anything, what do you think? Give out the information first. And if they call you, what type of questions are you looking from them? Or maybe they're thinking, I'm going to call this guy, but I don't really know what they're asking.
Sure. So it's Dr. Kevin Linderman, and my phone number is 837-7174. Now, by the way, that's a 337. Yeah, I didn't give that last time I was on. It's 337-837-7174.
You got a website?
Yeah, the easiest thing to do is just the Bryant Wellness Institute, or it's BryantWellnessInstitutes.com is the website.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, pretty easy. And now, the main thing we want to find out whenever a company executive calls me, or an HR director or a supervisor calls me that's interested in this, is that we'll find out what problems are you having? What do your employees do? Now, if we have a real big company that, say, has 20 secretaries and 20 people in the warehouse, we'll do 2 separate ones because that's 2 different programs.
The reason I'm asking that is if a company is listening and going, we got a lot of stress going around our company, and I'm calling Dr. Lindeman, but I really don't know what I'm going to ask him. Say, look, we got a lot of stress going on. Well, that's a good way to start.
It is, yeah, absolutely. And we'll sit down and we're going to find out, what you need, and then I'll come over and meet you and sit down. Might do a tour of your place, and we'll develop a custom program just for your business.
Yeah, because all businesses are different.
Yeah, and I don't care if you have 5 or 500 employees. This is something that you could benefit from. Okay. So, it's 337-837-7174, or it's the BryantWellnessInstitutes.com. Look us up.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, and it's a foundation for wellness professionals. It's all done in nonprofit, so it's a really great thing for local businesses.
As usual, we appreciate it, brother.
You bet.
God bless. Have a good one, man.
Yeah.
We'll let you go.
Thank you.
All right, bud. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. There's a ton of stuff. Al Gore, his movie, man-made global warming, Donald Trump doing what he said he's going to do, especially voter fraud. How about illegal immigration? How about Muslim countries saying, no, you're a terrorist country. We can't help you. Anyway, we got all that and more as you listen to the Moon Griffon Show. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. President Trump to announce. Boy, that sounds good. Watch how it rolls off. President Trump. Not to chump with the rump. President Trump. Borders today. Announce about the wall and everything. And we need to roll on it. We need to be able to protect. He's also getting ready to announce on the illegal immigration stuff that Obama just misused and burnt this country with. And he's getting ready to tell people who's going to get to come in here or not. Now, Brandon, it's not really as bad as that sounds. Well, he's going to be boss over everything. No. What he's going to basically do, he is pointing out some countries that they're not going to just walk in this country anymore. We're not accepting refugees from these countries. And some of these countries can't send people in. They're not going to allow them to because they're tied to terrorists. Like Iran. I mean, he's just not going to do it. And there's going to be some people tripping out. But it's no reason to trip out. He said he would do it, and he won the election. You know, Obama was allowed to open up the borders and let everybody come in here, which is you're talking about a nut policy. And so Trump said no. Trump to restrict immigration from certain Muslim countries this Wednesday. Expected to sign multiple executive actions on when it would tighten U.S. immigration policies with certain Muslim countries, according to a report Tuesday. The signings are set to take place, Department of Homeland Security. All right. Countries, Iraq, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Yemen. And there's Obama. He's let 100,000 Syrian refugees just come to our country who probably believes in Sharia law. Folks, this is not hate. This is loving your country. This is when they did the inauguration, Brandon, think about it. We watched him do what? Swear to uphold the Constitution. You know, the most important thing this president does is to protect our borders. The number one thing that this past president did was not protect the borders. Here's a guy saying, no, we're going to protect the borders. We're going to protect our country first. America first. Man, I tell you what, you got to like it. And I hope they just go through with it. Look, somebody comes over here legally, I'm the first one to say welcome. Illegally has to stop. Okay? Obama completely turned this country upside down in that policy. Okay? Totally. Now, his people that vote for him, you couldn't tell them that for nothing in the world. They don't want to hear that. For some reason, they think he was a great president, and I ain't figured that out yet. You know, and Trump is not totally and completely shutting down Muslims from entering the country. He's saying from these countries, he's going to restrict immigration from these countries, and there's not one country I named that likes us. Iraq, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Yemen. None of them like us. None of them. And I'm telling you right now, I mean, he is going after, he needs to, and they need to build a wall. The only people we want not in this country, the only people we don't want in this country are illegals who want to hurt us. And how do you know if they want to hurt us if there's not a vetting process? Barack Obama, open the door. We beg them, send refugees, people that no more like us or give a damn about us than flying to the moon. And there's Trump saying, no, we're stopping some of this. You know, we got 2 pipelines coming. Thank God. The global warming nuts, and I'll get to that later, they need to get over this stuff. They bought into the same propaganda the left has been pulling out. And there's the President of the United States, and see these countries here? We're restricting immigration. In other words, all he's doing, folks, for these people that are nutting up, all he's doing is saying, you see these countries where they got hate, Sharia law, killings, terrorism? You're not coming in this country until you vet it. By the way, Brandon, it did not say he's restricting all immigration from those countries. He's saying what he's doing is he's restricting until they can vet them. They can find out who they are before you let them in. Brandon, let me ask you a question. You and your bride, you're married, you're a young couple. Uh-huh. Okay, I was there once too. It was a long time ago. Your wife goes to the door, you don't know who the person is, you just let them in?
Of course not.
Okay, you got your wife, and let's say you got 2 kids, you go to the door and you say, hello, how you doing? And you don't know who the hell they are. You don't know them from Adam and Eve. And you say, hey, how you doing? Come on in. Would you do that to you in your own house?
No, of course not.
No, you wouldn't, because you got common sense. You got principles. You got a wife and children that you care about. Mm-hmm. Well, why would we do it on the borders? Look what this Obama fella did to us. And see, what I gave you was such a simple, plain, that's all I got, by the way, explanation of border control. Think of your own house. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not letting you in my house if I don't know you. I might not let your house in my house if I know you. But I can determine who I let in my house. Mm-hmm. We let this president that really ought to be nameless, Obama, open the doors and say, come on in. We don't care. And then the press, it's racist if you don't do that. I heard from this nutted up women's march talking about we ain't building no walls or we letting people in, immigration. We're not talking about immigration. We have never talked about immigration. That's the problem. We're talking about illegals, and they don't want to talk about illegals. And all the president is doing is protecting his house, which, by the way, he's sworn to do. Brandon, when you got married, since it wasn't that long ago, didn't you make a promise to God and your wife that you would be the head of your house?
Yes.
And that you were going to protect them to the best of your ability?
Yes.
What would be protecting your house if somebody knocks on the door and you go, hey, come on in? You don't know them. You don't know what their past is. You don't know the record of their life. You don't know nothing about them, but you're just going to open the door and let them in. That's what Obama did. Obama did that for 8 years here, folks. 8 years. We don't even know who's in our house anymore. I couldn't imagine Brian saying, yeah, come on in. You can spend the night, eat supper, and you can spend the night. Yeah, you can stay in the kids' room, and you don't even know them. That's how bad Obama was. That's how bad that man was. Here's a president right now, today, and he's still early in his presidency, going, no to you, no to you, no to you, because y'all been bad. Y'all been horrible. We don't trust you people. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, Mr. Trump. Thank you. Protect your house. That's what he's sworn to do. The other president didn't do it. We got to take a break. Your calls when we get back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. It's the Hicks and Hazard Hotline, 844-766-6607. We'll be right back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hicks and Hazard Hotline. Every segment on the Moon Griffon Show is different from the one before. We're going to jump gears again. And by the way, we'll get back to the immigration stuff and all that stuff. The dial's over 20,000 now. Jason Brown joins me. Acadian Total Security. And by the way, Jason, first of all, good to see you again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We are so excited. And Jason was the guy that helped with his hands help install our alarm system. I've been really excited about it. I'm so glad we went with y'all. The technology in the alarm system. I had one when I was living in Monroe, but it's nothing. No cut on them, by the way. But it's nothing compared to the technology now. I mean, I probably put that thing in like 10, 11 years ago. Yep. And what y'all have done is really makes me feel better when I'm not at home, and it makes me feel great when my wife and kids are home and I'm not at home.
Correct. Technology, that's the one thing we're making sure Acadian Total Security does to stay above the cutting edge. Make sure we know everything that's going on.
People know Acadian Ambulance.
Yes.
So, I mean, y'all know this is the same company. They've been securing and helping people for a long time. Y'all still in the helping people business.
Yes, Acadian Ambulance had security for the past 20-plus years. We were a dealer for multiple security companies across the nation. We have 3 company-owned monitoring stations. And
by the way, you took me through there. Mm-hmm. I was totally blown away because I didn't know that. Yep. So, but now in certain areas of the state, y'all have this home systems and it's just systems for businesses. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, what I like what y'all did with us, y'all actually customized what we wanted, what we needed, and what we could afford.
Absolutely. We have security consultants that come out to your house, take a look at it, see what you need, ask you questions, make sure we get you into the right system, the right products. And then it even goes from small commercial to large commercials. We have technicians for it all that can help, even with, little retail shops who want to do counting their walk-ins through a front door and want to see what their activity, when they know their employees show up, when they
somebody goes around my house right now, smile, you're on candid camera. And it is, and that's what makes it great. My bride can take her phone and basically check everything through the phone.
Yes.
And we can be in Florida doing this. And that's what makes it neat. And that's what I want you to kind of explain to people. The technology is off the charts.
It is absolutely. It is, until you see it, which you can go by our store on Honor Boulevard, 145 Honor Boulevard, until you see the technology, and really the cost isn't what you think It is. It's gotten where it's affordable. It's not expensive. But it can go from checking cameras on your phone to being alerted when your door opens. So you know when your kids come home, you get a picture when they disarm the system. So you know that they're by themselves, checking on cameras when they walk in the door. There's image sensor pictures you can take. There's alerts you can set up. There's motions. There's so much out there. Locking your doors, garage door, tilt sensors.
That's what I'm saying. So what they have to do is they got to get in touch with Acadian Total Security, folks. You can go on the website. All you got to do is put it in, Google it, and it's going to pop up. Make sure you put Acadian Total Security. We want to make sure we got the name right. Think of the ambulance company, Acadian Ambulance, and it's that company. And by the way, let me say this, and Brandon will get a kick out of this. Brandon, they put this system in. So Jason comes there, and he wants me to answer all these questions. Now, I mean, it's questions you need to answer, like, do you want this? Do you want this? It does this, it does this. And about halfway through, Jason said, are you paying attention? And I went, I'm paying attention, Jason, but you're talking to the wrong person. And he went, he fell out laughing. He said, your wife. I said, bingo. I said, she's the computer guru in the family. I said, you get with her because she loves all that stuff with the phone and all that stuff. And Jason said, never mind, forget everything I said. I'll talk to her. So we got Tanya in touch with Jason. They put everything that she wanted. And I'll be honest with you, our system was basically installed in about a day.
Yes.
And if I don't know if y'all had to come back for something, but it was probably because y'all had to answer a question. But it was installed pretty quick. I got the cameras. I got all the windows. I mean, I can take a shot at. She can pull up on her phone and watch all 4 shots on the camera. So if you hear something outside, I live in the country, the wind blows and the tree limbs fall. You hear something and you see that phone go up, you're actually watching outside of your house.
Yep, and your wife wanted the same thing my wife wanted, which was the garage door module, which is most people don't even realize that technology is there. Where if she leaves the garage door up and you drive outside your little geofence you set up, it tells you, hey, you left the garage door open. You can close it from your phone.
But that's technology.
That is technology. It's fantastic.
Well, it's great. I'm glad. And I would advise anybody, if you're looking for a alarm system for your business or your house, your home, and you want real protection and protection for your family, Acadian Total Security is the way to go. You got a website, a phone number you can give to people?
It's www.acadiantotalsecurity.com. You can also go to Acadian Ambulance website, and you can click on the link from there, too.
Part of it.
And it's 855-ACADIAN.
Folks, that's pretty simple, and people like Jason will come out and do a great job. And if you're like me, make sure the wife's at home. Yes. I got a feeling if Jason ever wants to call on me to upgrade something, I'm not going to get the phone call.
No, she'll be calling.
God bless you, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Tell everybody hi. By the way, your company in general has been great to work with. The marketing people. It's one of the places when you go, you don't sit down with one person. There may be 4 or 5 people in there talking to you and asking you questions. And I went in there and looked around. I said, I'm meeting half the company. Yes. But the fact is, that's how they operate. It's really a unique company to work with, and I'm proud to be.
But if you just have to sit with one person, though, Jason's phenomenal.
Jason,
I appreciate it.
Jason was great to put up with me after the first day. Jason was saying, do you know anything you want on this system? I said, I want it to beep if somebody tries to come in my house.
Jason, I got to put up with him on a daily basis.
How you do it.
How about this? How would you like to be my wife? Never mind. I didn't say that. Jace, God bless.
Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. I will let you out, man. All right, 844-766-6607. Let's squeeze some phone calls in here. Like I said, a lot to cover. Let's go to Woody in Shreveport. How you doing, Woody?
How you doing?
Man, you know me. I'm always pumped up.
There you go. Hey, I got a couple songs. One we can dedicate to Hillary and one to Obama.
What's that?
Well, remember old Roy Clark used to sing that song, Thank God in Greyhound She's Gone?
Thank God in Greyhound She's Gone. Yes, sir. I remember that. Yeah, that was a good song. That would be a very good one.
One that Thurland Husky used to sing, just called Gold. That's for Obama.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one too. And there was also an old one. You got to go back in the old days. And this is basically who the people that really think Obama was a great president and that man-made global warming is real. They had one, I'm in the yellow pages, listed under fools. What a fool.
Hey, buddy, be good, will you?
All right, brother, thanks. Now, see, the man, don't never let him on again, Brandon, because he made me sing. You got to admit, Larry in Colfax. How you doing, Mr. Larry?
Doing fine, Moon. How you doing?
I'm doing great, brother.
You know, we've got 2 blessings. Of course, our first one is Mr. Trump is our president. But in our state here, we got Billy Nungesser. And that is a true blessing. That man is pushing and shoving and doing a magnificent job with the.
Well, that's good. No, Billy's out there working. I just ain't heard from him. We finally heard from him this week. I was glad we did.
Well, every time we talk to him, I have a correspondence with him. I mean, it is magnificent what that man is trying to do to get people traveling in the state, going, and I tried to call in when he was on the show, but I couldn't get through. But what he's doing is getting these, setting up something like an ambassador from all different sections of the country to, the state to send stuff in to him that they can get it organized and point out things like, the poverty point if you want to, or the stuff at Nungesser or Shreveport,
yep.
He's so far, he thinks so far out of the box that he is just continuously coming up with new ideas, new ways to go about things.
He's working. He's staying after it. He's doing his job, and I think Billy's having a lot of fun with that right now.
Oh yeah, and look, he's a workaholic. He's like Trump. He don't never stop.
No, he got a lot. Him and I mean, I ain't gonna say another person's name with it, but he does have a lot of energy. Look, I got to run, Larry. Thank you, man. Appreciate the call. We got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Donald Trump. No, you Muslim countries that are sending all this bad stuff. No. We're going to vet you before you come in. What's wrong with that? Nothing. Thank you, Mr. Trump. We'll take a break. Be right back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. What do you think? What are your thoughts, folks? Trump strict immigration from certain Muslim countries today. We're going to be talking about the border. We're going to be talking about people coming into this country. And really, he needs to, Brandon, we've had periods of time where we've actually shut immigration down for a while. And I think that needs to be done. Boy, y'all really are. No, we're not ugly. We're not nasty. We're protecting the country. We're trying to do what's best for the country. America first. Americans first. So if you black, white, brown, you don't believe the way I believe, that's fine, but we're talking about protecting you too. You know, what this past president did was just downright ugly. Folks, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to change all this bad, and I'll be honest with you, the president just left, didn't care about the Constitution. He would have been protecting them borders. All the ones before him that allowed this stuff to happen. He would have been protecting the borders. Now, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Now, I got this sent to me, Brandon. I think you sent it to me. Mark Levin last night. And I got to say this. Y'all have heard about Bill Cassidy's new health care plan, which is not a new health care plan. If you like Obamacare, you can keep it. It's not a health care plan. That is a disaster. Mark Levin last night. The more I hear Bill Cassidy speak, the dumber I think he is. That was Mark Levin last night.
That dude don't hold back no
That
punches.
dude don't hold nothing back. Somebody sent some moon pie pictures too. But anyway, that's beside the point. Mark Levin said that. And I'm telling you, Cassidy needs to pull back on his plan immediately. Now, by the way, he did a press release. Sent it to Cassidy saying fake news. Calling people fake news. Okay? Bill, I'm sorry. Any part of states can keep the worst healthcare system in the world going against what we need is not, and I'm not going to call him Senator Cassidy a bright guy, but come on, Senator Cassidy. And the reason Cassidy wants to do this is for Democrats to vote for the bill. Voting for a bad bill is worse than doing nothing. Voting for a bad bill is way worse than going back to any system we've had in the past. Why would you want to vote for, and nothing, why does he want Democrats to vote with him? Democrats own the health care bill right now, and Trump was right when he said, look, I could leave it like it is and let it blow up, and Democrats, it's all over them. You know, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. But Mark Levin, man, I'll tell you what, he did not cut slack at all on Cassidy. And what Bill and the ladies doing is wrong. Let's go to phone lines. EJ and Alexandria. How you doing, EJ?
Hey, Moon. How's it going this morning? Good
I'm doing great, sir. Good to hear from you. I was in your beautiful city yesterday.
Oh, were you really? Yeah, I missed you. I was at the doctor's all day yesterday. But, Moon, you know, I agree with you, and I heard Mark Levin last night. And I called Cassidy's office this morning and left a message telling him that is not how he beat Mary Landrieu. That's not what he ran on when he spoke to Louisiana voters about repealing Obamacare. Now he wants to have a choice of Obamacare. And I told him exactly how I felt about it. And my whole family feels the same way. They're very disappointed, especially the senator that he's got tied up with, Susan Collins, who's about the most far left Republican in the Senate right now.
But you know that's what blows my mind. He ran against the woman who got beat for voting for Obamacare, only to tell us that if a state wants to keep Obamacare, they can. Now, what he's talking about doing is giving them a grant money, granting them X amount of dollars, do what you want. Okay? So I get that a little bit, but the point is, we want Obamacare dead meat, destroyed.
Exactly right. And I told him it almost looks like he's pandering to a Democratic vote in Louisiana for his reelection. And I reminded him that he is coming up for reelection. And, tactics like what he's doing now with Obamacare is not going to help him in his reelection bid, because there's a lot of Republican people, that could run against him and beat him if he keeps going up this road.
Well, you can't, the bottom line is, Bill ran against the woman that put Obamacare over. Anything that comes out of his mouth that says states can keep Obamacare, I'm telling you, he's destroying his credibility. He's destroying his credibility with coming out with a plan. Oh, if you like Obamacare, you can keep it. Really? Mm-hmm. You ran against a woman who voted for Obamacare. Obamacare was everything in that campaign. And it's her ties to the worst president ever. And I just can't believe that he would come out with a plan that says, if you like it, you can keep it. What is that alike?
That's what I called and told his office this morning.
By the way, what did they tell you? Did there any comments from them to you?
It was a recording, because of course they were on retreat for 3 days. The Senate they closed. They're not even in session today because they're on that retreat. The whole Congress. Did you call Washington? No, I called his office. I ran a computer printout of all the senators, and I got their phone numbers and addresses, and of course their website too. But I actually called his office and got a recording that he was out of the office today. It was his voice. He was out of the office today, and just leave a detailed message, and someone will get back. If I want to be contacted. But,
he's got offices around the state, and he's got an office in Washington, D.C. I would make sure I called a couple differences to see if you could talk to a person, because I think a lot of people ought to be calling Cassidy right now and ask him, what are you doing?
Yeah, I agree.
They got a segment on a country station here, The Dog, at 6:40 every morning, and it's a funny section, and it's what were they smoking? What were they smoking? And they talk about the funny things that people, not funny, but some of them pretty sad at what they're doing. And I'm starting to think, what was the senator smoking? I don't want to be ugly to him. I like Bill. I just don't understand. I don't understand. You want a landslide election against a woman who voted for Obamacare, and nothing should fall out of your mouth that if you like it, you can keep it. Nothing. Not even close. You mean to tell me what if Louisiana said, yeah, we like it, we're going to keep it? I mean, Bill's representing a state that knows, and people like me are getting crushed by it. I mean, right now I'm going, really? Nobody should keep that. That is a hellhole.
Yeah, especially now, if the federal government stops giving all this Medicaid money to Louisiana after our esteemed governor put 138,000 people on Medicaid, the state's going to be in a deeper hole than what it is already.
But John Kennedy is trying to warn people about what Bill Edwards did in this budget. They're talking about this budget problem. Yeah, you get money from the federal government, but you got to put money up. So if you're getting $300 or $400 million more a year, you're putting up $150 million a year. Where are we getting that from? John Kennedy's talking about it.
I know.
All right, brother.
Well, Moon, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for taking my call.
Oh, no, thank you. God bless you. Appreciate the call. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Cornelius, you want to talk about the Dow Jones. How much money you got in the stock market?
Whoa! 20,000.
20 million. You got 20 million? 20 million is a lot of money. All right, what you got, bro?
But that was one of my main things. I'm glad that guy from Alexandria called about Cassidy. You know, I was a big Manus supporter, and if we had Manus up there, it'd be totally different.
I know this. Manus would have never, ever said, let's keep Obamacare in other states. I just think what Bill's saying, Bill needs to be careful. This state is a red state. You don't have to cow down to the left. You really don't have to cow down to the left at all to win this state. Don't be mistaken.
Well, Moon, the key to it is his first vote after he won that election. He voted 100% with Obamacare and all like that. So that was the first vote he did after he won the election when he was a congressman and stuff. But anyway, Moon, I tell you, Trump is just running with that Trump train. We had an article in the paper yesterday where the Trump train was running over the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
If he keeps on like this, which I hope he pray can, I hope he can keep going on.
Let me tell you what, I already know what I'm going to do if Trump gets off, Cornelius. I'm sending Brandon to Washington. What you think? If he can handle me, he can handle Trump. All right, Cornelius. Appreciate the call. More to come. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. We'll be right back. You ready? I thought it's funny. I came in here and I wouldn't hear you yet, and Brandon was humming, "Thank God and Greyhound, he's gone." I said, Brandon, she's gone, not he, but I think he was thinking about me.
Well, a she and a he is gone. So.
All right, folks, great to have you with us as you rally and try to watch the country change the right way to the constitutional country we need to be, protecting our borders, making our economic situation different. And it still comes back to the morality of the country, which affected more than anything else. How you like this for a friend? I'm so bored right now. I'm actually listening to your show. Hey, that was a friend of mine. A friend of mine. He can't fish a lick, but he's a good guy. All right. I bet. You know what? I think he's a lawyer.
You're starting to narrow it down.
What I think this is a setup question. He wants me to mention his name on air and blast him so he can sue me.
Really?
What?
You have a friend? Wow.
To think I pay her sometime. I don't have to pay people to insult me. I get that at home for free. All right, President Trump to sign executive order on border wall and targeting sanctuary cities. That's another thing that I'm tickled to death to see. Sanctuary cities. Okay? The sanctuary cities are where we're having a lot of problems, and we're protecting them. And all we got to do is hey, you're going to have sanctuary cities? No more federal money. And let me tell you something, the cities in this country freak out because everything they depend on is the government. Everything they design in their cities is from the government. Sanctuary cities become hellholes, and they become places where people can hide. New Orleans is one of them. Now, Brandon, they said Lafayette was one of them. I still don't see that. I'm sorry I don't. But they said it was. But New Orleans has one, and Mitch Landrieu is fighting for sanctuary cities. Trump's going to target those. By the way, Brandon, you saw that? Karl Rove is on. They said between $12 and $38 billion to build a fence. Brandon, when you think about a $4 trillion budget, that ain't that much money. I want you to think about that. Temporary ban I mentioned on refugees plan. They're just going to ban them right now. Smart move. Folks, Protecting the borders of the United States of America is the most important thing the President of the United States does. It really is. Just like my household, protecting my wife and children is the most important thing that I do, and that you do. Why would you let a president come in and open the borders? Anybody can come in. I mean, they don't report it, Brandon, but there are a lot of rapes. There are a lot of murders. There's a lot of stuff that goes on from some, I didn't say all, some of these people coming across. I'm not worried about the good ones. We never have to worry about the good ones. Who's coming over here just because it's a place they can come over here and do what they do? You know, it's an incredible thing to watch. So, you know, as I watch this, he is doing some things that are totally opposite, going a totally different direction than the president had just left, and it should be. He took us in a direction from hell. By the way, did y'all see this? Remember when Obama walked out, he said, here's $221 million to the Palestinians who hate Israel, who hate us, who hate Americans, who hate Christians. He just drops $221 million to them. But according to this, the State Department is now reviewing Obama's administration's last-minute decision. Announced Tuesday that it would review the last-minute decision by former Secretary of State John Kerry, by the way, he served in Vietnam, according to Rush, to send $221 million to the Palestinians late last week over the objections of congressional Republicans. The department said it would look at the payment and might make adjustments to ensure it comports with the Trump administration's priorities. Kerry formally notified Congress the state would release the money Friday morning, just hours before Trump took oath of office. $221 million to the Palestinians. And here's my question to you. What do we get for the $221 million? I tell you what we get. The taxpayers get nothing. Inner cities get nothing. Okay? Healthcare gets nothing. Because they just dropping money because Obama didn't take care of his business. That was that $10.5 trillion worth of debt he ran up. Oh, man. What a change this could be, folks. What a great change this could be. He's going to sign these executive orders to start protecting our borders, not opening up the house to anybody that wants to come in. Well, by the way, why don't President Obama do that? When somebody knocks on his door now, let the former president, I love saying that, let him just let anybody come spend the night at his house. Let anybody come spend the night in his daughter's room. Why not? That's what he did with the country. Y'all just come on in, spread you out through the country, do whatever the heck you want to do. Why don't you let them come in and say, okay, thank y'all. Here, y'all can eat. You go sleep in the next bed to my daughter. And don't even know who they are. Never would do it. Never, ever, ever would anybody do that. Would anybody do what that guy did? Why Republicans sat around and let that happen, I have no idea. Because they did. Some of this stuff, they just sat around and let it happen. You know, 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. All right, let's go to Marcel on the road. Marcel, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, Moon. Senator Brandon Como, that has a pretty good ring.
I like that. Senator Como, and I could ask for probably a favor, but he wouldn't give me one. He'd probably get me back for all the things I said to him. It'd be hell to pay for the Griffons.
Man, you about to buy you flowers instead of you buying him flowers.
No doubt about it. I believe that. And send me some dead fish. And I'm not talking about the kind that's clean, ready to fry either.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Moon, I love what Trump's doing right now. I was telling a couple of my friends, the mainstream media is like, they're like dogs chasing after sticks. He's playing fetch with them, saying these things like, I had the largest crowd in the history of mankind to attend my inauguration. He's saying these exaggerating things. And they're just eating it up and fact-checking and spending all their time and resources on this. And in the meantime, he's signing these executive orders, and he's getting his agenda accomplished. And I just think it's hysterical how he has the media, how he has them figured out, he's changed the whole face of politics. And I sure hope that the Republican Party is taking some good notes with this guy, because he knows how to handle them. Protecting our borders, I agree wholeheartedly. That is.
But don't you think that's the most important thing a president to do, and he's doing it immediately? What does that tell you? What happened the last 8 years, and I'll even go to 8 years under Bush. We didn't protect it enough.
You know the sad thing, Moon, is Obama could have done something like this, but it has nothing to do with protecting. Getting more voters is more important to the Democratic Party to further their agenda than actually protecting.
Well, if he wanted to protect the borders, he would have done something. He did not only not protect it, he said, come on into the house, spend the night with us, stay, and by the way, sign up to get a benefit over here. That's what they did. Let's just be blunt.
Well, there's been millions of dollars that have been earmarked, have been put off to the side to actually have some type of border security, a wall or whatnot, and these yahoos in Washington just keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, dilly-dallying and playing around, and before you know it, they got another election coming up, and that's what they're all about, is just getting reelected. I'm so glad. It's refreshing. I was not a Trump guy to begin with, but he won me over. I'm on the Trump train with Cornelius. He's
well, you're gonna have a loud train.
He's the conductor, and I'm just the assistant, shoveling coal, keep the thing going or something, however that works.
Well, I understand, brother. Well, I'm on the train. Anything that got rid of that caboose that was going backwards, the nut caboose was going backwards, and now we got that off the track, and that's a good thing. Anyway, got to run. Appreciate the call. Let's move on. One more real quick. Let's go to Tom in Bastrop. Tom, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, Moon. I had a quick point on Obamacare and then a question for you. On Obamacare, people may not realize what Cassidy's doing is that important, but they forgetting we have a Democratic governor and a bunch of rhinos down there in the legislature, and that could very well, in Louisiana, if that went the wrong way, we could very well end up with them selecting to keep Obamacare, and that is disastrous.
That's what I'm saying. You're giving people the opportunity. We got a governor, a one-term governor, and Edwards is one term. Trust me, he's one term. A governor that only knows if I can raise all the taxes on these people, they're gonna love me, which is ludicrous in the way you're thinking. But what he's doing is he's trying to buy. What Edwards is trying to do? He's trying to buy people in secondary education. He's trying to buy K through 12. He's trying to buy the universities. He's trying to buy the community colleges. He's trying to buy the state and government workers. He's trying to buy votes. He's trying to buy the healthcare workers, doctors. He's trying to buy all these people that depend on money coming from the government. It is a total tax and buy my next election. That's what Governor Edwards is doing. Tax and buy the next election because we got so many people depending on state government. That's all it is. But people are seeing through this. They're seeing through the honor code. There's nothing honorable about what he's doing. Anyway, we got to take a break. By the way, we have asked for him to come on a program, and we've even said we will go to the governor's mansion for 2 hours and broadcast with the governor, just me and him, and 10 or 12 state troopers. But it don't matter. I'm ready to go. We'll be right back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. All right. Going back to the one-term governor, Edwards. Senator blast Edwards over Medicaid costs. United States Senator John Kennedy, by the way, he was our state treasurer, blames Medicaid for everything from cuts to state's popular college scholarship program tops to low teacher pay in Baton Rouge, traffic jams, in a column provided to state newspapers this week. Edwards' administration dismissed Kennedy's claim as false and political. Okay, saying he's using alternative facts, a reference to what a spokesman for President Trump cited when defending the president. Kennedy also criticized Edwards' Department of Health Secretary. Are you wondering why Louisiana's budget is such a mess? A big reason is the amount of money taxpayers are spending on Medicaid. Edwards expanded the program in 2016. The rising cost of Medicaid is why TOPS has been cut. The rising cost of Medicaid is why we can't pay our teachers more. The rising cost of Medicaid is why the interstate is a parking lot in Baton Rouge. Anyway, he goes on to talk about running a deficit, and, of course, Kennedy is our state senator now, and Edwards and him are freaking out. But here's the thing. Edwards wanted the job. Edwards voted for 4 of the 7, I don't count the last one, of political budgets. He voted for tax increases. He voted for $2.5 billion in tax increases. They can't fix the budget because we have a spending problem. They always go after medical and higher ed. The big problem is not in the medical as much as people think. The big problem is in higher ed. Nobody wants to deal with it. Nobody wants to deal with universities closing some, combining some. And I tell you why, if you remember when Jindal got in office, they were going to do that, and they went to the easiest, lowest-hanging fruit there was. University of New Orleans and SUNO. And the graduation rate at SUNO were like 3%. I mean, it's just you got a president, you got a vice president. They wanted to take those 2 schools, which are right there in New Orleans, and combine them. And it would have been a great one president. You just would have knocked, I think they'd have saved somewhere around $40 to $60 million a year. And Mr. Como, they couldn't do that. So how do you expect to fix anything? The medical wouldn't be as big a deal if we didn't look at what happened with university, overhiring of people. So they're not going to deal with the problem. When they start talking taxes, well, all they're telling you is, look, we're not changing one thing. And the one-term governor, Bill Edwards, is basically telling us, along with Jay Dardenne, we're not changing anything. Everything we have in this state is perfect. If you'll just give up some more of your revenue for higher taxes for roads, for higher taxes for this, for higher taxes for that, we're going to be better. But the problem, the proof's in the pudding. At Jindal's last year and Edwards' first year, they raised $2.5 billion in new taxes, and not one dang thing got fixed. Nothing got fixed. And they coming back to us saying, now if y'all can give us a lot more, we can do even better things when you didn't do anything with the money we gave you. This is so simple, they make it complicated. The bottom line is if me and you and me and the people out in this audience would live on less and let the government live on more, your life is going to prosper. If you have less take-home pay, your life's going to be better and theirs is going to be better. This is what they're convincing you. And what's so sad is I watched Republicans for the last 2 years agree with Edwards and Alario and Jay Dardenne and actually vote for new taxes with nothing improving. That's pretty pitiful when you think about it. One quick call. Scott in Shreveport. How you doing, Scott?
How you doing, Moon? I'm calling. I was listening to you earlier, and you were saying that Obama just allowed anybody that wanted to come into the United States to come on in. Doors wide open.
Basically, yes.
Well, this is what I've realized and noticed over the last years is that 18 out of 1,000 of the refugees that came from the Middle East were Christian. Not just anybody was allowed in.
Well, you're right. Christians weren't allowed, but you're right about that.
The Christians should have been the ones that were saved. Now, you got a very informed...
Hold up. I just said, hold your thought, because I got to take this break. It's a hard break. Let me take it. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline, hicksonhasit.com. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. By the way, Carol makes a good point. It's not Carol Ross, although she makes a lot of good points. Carol writes, nobody will be able to knock on Obama's door because there's a wall right now being built around his Washington rental home. And they ain't coming in his house, but they can come in yours. He said, I also think you should look at the website Conservative Review by Mark Levine.
Mark Levin.
Okay. Mm-hmm. There are a few articles on the repeal of Obamacare and what the GOP is actually doing. He said, she says, I don't think you're going to like them. One, especially by David, is it Horowitz?
Yes, Horowitz. Mm-hmm.
Mention Obamacare and what the GOP is actually doing. He says, Mr. Cassidy, and it was not very flattering.
Oh, man.
I looked also at Mr. Cassidy's conservative rating. It was not really good either. Look, I'm not trying to get on Bill. But Bill needs to be challenged for what he's trying to say on Obamacare. I'm sorry, he needs to be challenged. What he's talking about doing is absolutely outright wrong. And you don't ever say, when you won against a woman who voted for the dumbest health care that we could ever put in the United States of America, never could afford it. This is what I don't understand about people either, Brandon. You can't afford what he did. It's going to collapse the whole system, and you're sitting there going, well, I like it. It helped me. I liked it. Well, it's going to blow everything up. I don't care. Then you're not that bright. You got a healthcare system that's going to bring down everything, and you're sitting there going, we had a call the other day. Well, I like my healthcare. I got it. It's cheaper for me. You don't understand the big picture. You only understand your pocketbook. So when it blows up, then what you going to say? Well, it was all good. The old system I like, because if I went to work and I worked hard, I could afford it. See, I had to go to work. By the way, check our Facebook out. I think it's pretty funny. It's got a picture of Trump and said, basically, check out Facebook and Moon Griffon. You got to turn in your free cell phones for an alarm clock. In other words, you got to go to work. See, I got to pay for my cell phone, and I got to pay for my health care. I got to pay for my food. I have to feed my kids in the morning. I have to clothe them by the grace of God. But if I got to do it, how come some people don't have to do it? They get up in the morning, they get free lunch, they get free this, they get free health care, they get subsidized health care. How is that even right? But in the United States of America, we got a mentality that people can't do for themselves. And that, my friend, I do not understand. Everybody can do for themselves. And the inner cities are like they are because Democrats want the inner cities to be like they are. By the way, Donald Trump planning to seek major investigation on voter fraud. Brandon, what they're looking at on this is how many people who are illegally voted. Pew study, approximately 24 million active voter registrations are no longer valid. 1.8 million dead people voted. I think those things ought to be looked into. You know, if 1.8 million dead people voted, and I would suggest 1.8 million dead people voted for Hillary, that is a problem. Somebody's taking advantage of it. Some party's taking advantage of it. All right, let me go to Scott in Shreveport. Scott, I'm going to let you start all over, brother. I'm sorry about that, but go ahead.
Well, I was just saying that, you'd said that Obama let anybody into the country, and he didn't. He held back on the Christians. There was only 18 out of 1,000 that were allowed in from the Muslim nations. And at the same time this was going on, there's a Sunni-Shiite civil war is basically what's going on in all those countries. Sunni is before Muhammad, Shiite is after Muhammad. So you either have one view of Islam, Muslim, or you have the extreme view. Mm-hmm. But both those views of Islamicism is to basically exterminate the Christian off the face of the earth. And after they finished exterminating the Christians out of their area, then they turned on each other.
Yeah.
And then Obama says, well, I'm going to go ahead and import all those people into this country that killed off the Christians. And I'm not going to allow in any Christians, maybe just 18 out of 1,000, just to say something, I did something. But then once those refugees got here, they can't speak the language. They are not going to assimilate into the customs. And they're all receiving $23,000 a year minimum in government assistance. And then it increases upwards of 100,000 plus because a lot of these people have like 10 and 15 children.
Mm-hmm.
So where if you were to allow, if Trump didn't do what he did, if he were to allow the same thing that Obama was doing, our country would literally go completely out of money. We wouldn't be able to afford all the government programs for the people who are already here in the United States. And the same thing's happening in Germany. It's happening in Scotland.
No, it's already happened over there. It's already happened deeper than what's happened over here, but it's coming this way. But if Trump stops them at the border and says, okay, we're going to stop it, we're going to vet everybody, you're not just walking across the border, and you start slowing that process down, then you can deal with people who don't really belong here. In other words, if somebody is a bad a criminal or something like that. You got to get them out of here.
Yeah. But there's another problem that people don't realize. It's called a worldwide Great Depression. And by doing what they're doing, by flooding the countries with all these Muslims and their government assistance programs, people ask themselves, why did Greece tank? Why did Greece's economy just a few years ago bottom out? They closed the banks for a few months. You got 10 cents on the dollar. Why did that happen to Greece? Because of a Muslim invasion. They had liberal policies. They had liberal presidents and everybody in control. They said, we'll bring all these people in. It's a good thing. And then all of a sudden, their entire country's economy went down. Then that next was Venezuela.
Yeah.
So we have to realize that this situation, if we don't stop it and roll it back, it's a contagious Great Depression that encompasses the entire world. I'll let you go. I appreciate your time.
No. Listen, it is what it is. But I know this: protecting our borders, number one on the list for a real president who really loves this country. That's what they would do. Protect us. Protect the borders to the best of their ability. And one way you do that is you have legal immigration ways to get in this country. And I'm all for that, Brandon. I don't think you're against that either. Illegals coming here, not knowing who's coming here, opening up to refugees. I love that he named out 6 or 8 countries that said you're not sending them. Iraq, Iran, Syria. Dude, Obama, I don't know if it's 100,000 from Syria? Just from Syria. I think anybody that thinks Sharia law should be here ought to really look at going back home and enjoying those great countries over there, those peaceful, loving countries. Let's go to Jody on the road. Jody, how you doing?
Doing good, Moon. Trying to drum up some work here in this oil field, but with the situation.
Well, I'll tell you what, I hope soon. I hope you can drum up all the work you want to.
Yeah, I hear you, brother, myself. I want to touch on a couple of things. The first thing is I want to bring attention to District 42. I don't know if you recall a few weeks ago or throughout the years, I'm the one that calls out my favorite representative, that is
Mr. Monisset?
Yeah.
He's our wildlife and fishery guy now.
Yeah, and you kind of ruined my celebration, because when I called in and said I was celebrating, he can't vote for any more taxes. You said he's going to impose fees on us for hunting license, so you ruined my celebration.
Well, you can, write it down. A liberal does what a liberal does. They go look at their budget and say, we need more money. We're getting ready to pop the people who pay the bills. That's what Edwards has taught us. Raise more taxes, raise more fees. Prosperity's on the way.
That is right. I want to touch on the 2 candidates that I don't know a whole lot about that are running. One is Jay Swear, the other is John Cassidy.
Yeah, I don't know either one of them either.
I've listened to both. Had a meet and greet with John Sunday. I've heard speeches that Jay did, and he mentioned your 2 favorite words: economic development.
Uh-oh, that's curse words to me. That means that's tax increases. Anytime they mention economic development, there were years ago, a few years ago, the state treasurer was running on economic development. The secretary of state was running on economic. It got hilarious to watch him mention these 2 words.
Yep. And also, what really scares me about Jay, I know he's an awesome family man. He's known in his church.
And by the way, I don't know either one of them, so I have no comment on either one of them. But go ahead.
Right. But what really scares me is that he's been hand in hand with Jack Montesey for probably 6 months to a year now. Mm-hmm. So he was being groomed for this position by Jack. That scares me. Jay's running as a Republican, but we all know Jack disguised himself as a conservative Democrat, and he was a liberal Democrat with his voting record.
You know what, though? It's going to be a very low turnout election. A guy that has any money and organization to get the vote out will win that election. As a matter of fact, the key is having organization, because it's going to be such a low turnout, man. Now, maybe in that little district you'll have a good turnout, but I'm not betting on it.
Right. And now, when I spoke with John Sunday, he is against taxes. He's against bigger government. And I basically told him, I said, if you vote opposite of Jack Montesey, and he started laughing, he's like, I am far more conservative than Jack claimed to be. So my support, if to me right now, what it's looking, Urbanski's looking like he's the real conservative in the race, all because of the fact Jay was groomed by Jack Montesay.
Yeah. Interesting. But that's something, once again, your area is going to have to look into and see who's the best person for the job. So raising taxes ought to be the last thing we do. Really, the last thing we do. But I'm telling you, man, watch them Republicans that claim they're not for taxes. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show.